So I was all set to record a guest today, but I had a last minute cancellation. So I guess you're stuck with me. It'll still be cool. You're listening to the new episode of In Love with the Process. I'm your host, Mike Pecci. How are you? What's happening? Like I said, an impromptu show today. We're kind of loose and all over the place. Gina's in the background doing some work. Hi, Gina.
Hi.
Hi. So she'll be kicking around. So if you hear strange chewing noises, scratching of the walls, kicking things over, it'll be Gina. It's doing all that behind us. Like I said at the top end, I was prepared to do a episode with a guest today, but this is how the game works. You get last minute cancellations, shifting, rescheduling. You got to play loose. You got to be loose about it. And honestly, it's been like a hot second since it was just you and me hanging, talking. I just want to give a quick shout out to all of the new folks that have been watching the movies. Yes, 12cam continues to be viral. Yes, I have been talking about this since it's almost 10 years that we've been making this movie, releasing this movie, putting this movie out. And it's been at least since 2022 that this movie has continuously gone viral. And I've met thousands and thousands and thousands of new fans and fans that love horror, fans that love movies, fans that love the movie experience. And they've all been dialing in, sending me their 3 favorite horror movies, and I have been making my way through all of the DMs. There's a lot of DMs, man. For those of you who have felt like I have just absolutely missed your stuff, Instagram, if I was planning this at all, I wouldn't have chosen Instagram to be the outlet for this because it's just not built for mass DMs the way that we're getting mass DMs over here. It's just not built for it. Honestly, they get kind of pissed off about it because they can't find a way to monetize what I'm doing, which is But for those of you who I haven't responded to for at least a year, 2 years, it's because Instagram for some reason decides to hide older messages. So I have to either fucking scour through my junk mail folder, which is a wasteland. That is like a barren wasteland of porn requests and disgusting stuff. So for those of you who are lost in there, I find your DM, I clean it off, and I try to respond whenever I can. And I've been making my way through. So big shout out to everybody that's playing along and going through the process of getting to see the movie for free. And then a big middle finger to those of you who are like, I shouldn't have to ask you. I shouldn't have to do anything to watch this. You know what I mean? Get out of here, dude. It's free, I've been meeting a lot of really cool people. And the movie lists continue to change and warp, but there are always the key players, man. They're the cornerstones of what people think the best horror movies are. And, on that list is always The Exorcist. On that list is quite often a lot of James Wan's Conjuring movies. On that list all the time, which makes my heart swell, is John Carpenter's The Thing. That was consistently on lists everywhere. Surprisingly, the stuff that I thought would be on a lot of people's lists isn't. You're not seeing a whole lot of Friday the 13th, and before that little hot group of people that love those movies gets upset. I'm not saying that people don't say Friday the 13th, but man, if there were 50 messages, maybe 2 of them were Friday the 13th responses, you know? And then not a lot of people say Nightmare on Elm Street. There's a lot of like Gen X fans that are like, Nightmare is great. But that one doesn't show up a lot. Everybody likes to put their hand up and go, you know, Hereditary. That shows up on a lot of lists. I have to watch that movie again. I have such a distaste for that film. And I don't think it has anything to do with the quality of the movie. I think it's just the business around that movie that makes me upset. But let's see. What else is pretty cool on the list? Well, you know what? While I'm talking to you right now, let me go check it out. Because this stuff is interesting. I think you guys would find this interesting. So if I go into my requests here, and let me take a peek at, let's pick 10 out of the 100 something that I just got over the past hour. Let's see, what do we got here? Oh, okay, here's a good one. Rachel sent me High Tension, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the 2003 remake. Interesting. That says something about your age. Not in a negative way. And then 28 Days Later. Cool. All right, so it seems like you like pretty intense, high stressful, running away from gnashing teeth and sharp blades horror movies. So it's not really slasher. It's more sort of high intent, like high tension. There we go. Barely survived these things. If you guys haven't seen High Tension, it's a great movie. I think it was a French director that did it. Is it subtitled? I feel like it is. It's not a lot of dialogue in that movie. But it's really well done about this woman that ends up going to visit a friend and stay at this farmhouse, and everything goes wrong. And it's pretty cool. The twist in it, but it's pretty cool up to that. And then the Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake, it's pretty cool. Like, I like how beautiful that movie is. And it was actually shot by the original, cinematographer, the guy who shot the original, who I've talked to and I've had on the show. So if you guys want to check that out, go check out inlovewiththeprocess.com. I will go there with you right now. Let me see if I can find that episode. It was an older episode. If you go to inlovewiththeprocess.com, click on ILWP podcast, click on cinematographers, and then just scroll through. This is a great place to go if you just want to listen to specific episodes. You want to find out what number episode it was. You want to actually see the supplemental material that I put up there with the episodes. They're all here. And Daniel Pearl. So it's episode 125. It's pretty cool. And on that show, believe it or not, I had him on, and knowing that he was the Texas Chainsaw cinematographer. But what interested me more was that this guy shot like all of the best music videos from the early 90s, the late 80s. So like Meatloaf motorcycle video. He did like Slash, for November Rain, like all that great stuff. So episode 125 with guest Daniel Pearl. Pretty cool, man. All right, let's check out someone else's choices here. Let's see. Joe says, hey, Mike, my top 3 horror movies are, here we go, The Exorcist. Like I said, shows up all the time. John Carpenter's Halloween, that shows up quite a bit. And this guy's trying to make me happy. John Carpenter's The Thing. I would love the opportunity to watch your new movie. Thanks, Joe. Well, Joe, you will get a link from me. That will come your way. Let's see. Let's find another one. Dude, here's another one, okay? Top 3 movies, The Thing, The Void, and Evil Dead. The 2013 remake, the Fede Alvarez remake. That one's pretty good. I enjoyed that one a lot. Here is somebody who's quite obviously a bit younger. So top 3 movies for this person is Smile, The Witch, and Tumbad, which is this Indian horror movie I have yet to watch. Everybody tells me I have to watch this film. There's a bunch of interesting horror coming out of India. A lot, because I have a bunch of fans from India that have been sending me lists and lists. And I'm curious about it. All right, we'll do a couple more of these. Someone says The Exorcist, again, The Shining, great one. That shows up quite a bit. And Hereditary, I told you. Some other frequenters are Get Out, Barbarian, and I haven't seen Fresh. Have you guys seen Fresh? I haven't seen that yet. Let's see what else do we got here. Scrolling through. The Collector, there's an oldie. It. Wow, a lot of people don't say It. Which It are you talking about? You talking about the remakes? I thought those were really great. Silence of the Lambs. A lot of people list that as a horror movie. Do you guys agree with that? Do you think Silence of the Lambs is a horror film? It's interesting. It's an interesting question. Let's see, what else do we got kicking in here? Let me go. Let me scroll. 28 Days Later, again, Midsummer, okay. And The Platform, a lot of people like that movie. Let's see. I'm scrolling through, trying to find stuff that's interesting. Baskin, The Void, again, The Void. The Substance. Again, The Thing, 28 Days Later, again, They Live. I wonder if 28 Days Later is kicking around because of the sequel that's being advertised right now. That's interesting. Again with The Thing. Black Christmas. Again with The Exorcist. See what I'm saying? The numbers are here. Then you have some like real deep horror nerds, which are always fun. Like this guy here, Will, says Astro Zombies. There you go. Night of the Living Dead. And then Count Chocula. Get out of here, dude. You might get a link. Let's see what else we got. The Thing, Halloween again. See, dude, I'm telling you, man. Again, Poltergeist, The Thing, Creep Show. I'm trying to find stuff that is interesting. Okay, here we go. Nope, which I liked. Hereditary and Us. So this is obviously a younger kid that sent those. Here we go. The first Friday the 13th. So I'm scrolling through. So I'm probably about 40 deep. And this person, Connor, if you're listening to the show, is obviously a slasher fan. So it's Friday the 13th, Halloween, and Scream. Okay. Here we go. Here's someone that just doesn't get it. I don't understand how they don't get it. So I have SpongeBob SquarePants Out of Water. Okay. The Curious George movie. Are you trying to make me laugh? Is that what this is? And then Ant-Man. How? Okay. Not getting the link. Let's see. Scrolling through. Okay, the first one. We're probably about 50 something deep. The first one that someone has even brought up Longlegs, which is interesting. You know what I'm saying? And it's loaded up with Longlegs, Sinister, and what's the other one? Oddity. I've never seen Oddity. That's interesting. As I'm doing these things, I won't do this too long because I don't want to bore you. But if you haven't sent me your 3 favorite horror movies, you might want to do that. Head on over to @MikePecci at Instagram or on Instagram, or at In Love with the Process Pod. That's In Love with the Process POD. That's where you can reach me. Send it to mine @Mike Pecci, your 3 favorite horror movies. And if I agree with you, you will get a link to see 12KM. And if you play along and you're cool, you might just get a link to see something else. So quite often people get to see more than one movie when they play the game. Let's see here. I want to do a couple more. I'm curious. Here we go. The Conjuring shows up. Insidious shows up. The Last Shift. Let's see. Saw 2. Black Phone. I haven't seen Black Phone, believe it or not. Smile 2. I enjoyed a lot. I thought Smile 2 was better than Smile 1. Great movie. Here we go. This guy's got some fucking taste. What do we got going on here? The Autopsy of Jane Doe. Great fucking movie. This movie needs to be on more people's lists. If you guys haven't seen The Autopsy of Jane Doe, definitely see it. Once again, how do you not see that it's 3 favorite horror movies? Here we go. This person's trying to impress. First movie, Pulp Fiction, not a horror movie. Second movie, The Royal Tenenbaums, completely the opposite spectrum of a horror movie. Third one is Mud in 2012. What is Mud? I'm not sure what that movie is. Sorry, dude, that doesn't equal a link. You have a chance. I'll write you, give you a chance to send me your 3 favorite horror movies, but that does not equal a link, my friend. Let's see here. What else do we got? I think we're going to read a couple more and we're done. Get Out again. Conjuring 2. I enjoyed The Conjuring 2 a lot. I thought he had a lot more fun with it. Had a bit more of a budget. Was able to make it a bit bigger. The effects seemed to be more practical, which was a lot of fun with that movie. That's it. Oh, this one's weird. Green Inferno. I'm not necessarily a fan of that, but cheers to you for liking it. Green Inferno, the 2003 Texas Chainsaw remake, and the autopsy of Jane Doe. Okay, winner, chicken dinner. That's a winner. You win. So yeah, if you guys want to play along, like I said, send me your 3 favorite horror movies. You get to see my movie. It's pretty cool. And, this thing continues to catch on. I continue to have conversations. Every time I go in to pitch a film or talk to an executive, they're always like, how are all these people interested? And I try to explain to them, like, people want to go see movies. They want to feel like it's an exclusive thing. They want to feel included. They want to be able to talk to directors. They want to be able to talk to writers. They want to talk to the people that create these movies. They want to go on these adventures. They want to feel like it's just not some pre-packaged IP that you pull off a shelf, dust off, and hand to somebody that is desperate for money. You know what I'm saying? Because that's kind of how our business works. And we're in a change right now. Our business is definitely trying to find its legs. Everybody is trying to figure out like how to make money, how to make movies. And, Jesus, man, every studio, every production company that I've talked to has been like, we're just trying to figure it all out. Which in my mind means that the whole system needs to just go back to its core, right? People that love to make these things, making these things. And people that love to watch stuff, finding these folks that make things and then supporting them and sticking with them. I just saw an epic interview that really inspired me and really just sort of cut through like a lighthouse in the fog, just sort of cut through all this like hysteria, all this like anxiety that was surrounding this business for me. And the irony of it is it was advice from somebody that started the game for me, advice that I took at the beginning of my career. I, back in the day, like so many people at my age and at that time period, read a book from Robert Rodriguez called Rebel Without a Crew, in which he talks about how he shot his film, El Mariachi, how he financed his film, El Mariachi, shot it by himself, all the way up through him getting into Sundance with it and it changing his life, changing his entire career. Thus, then going on to meet Quentin Tarantino, then going on to do Desperado, Dusk Till Dawn, and it just continues on and on. So it was a great book, a very inspiring book that I read back in the day, and honestly, it gave me the formula to do what I was doing back at home, which is fuck the system, and let me just make my own stuff and build my own team and make it work. There hit a point for me where I started to get the attention of Hollywood. And so that pulled me out here and tried to play the game that is Hollywood. And that game just, for somehow, just likes to pull you further and further away from the core of it, which is I like to make things with my friends. I like to make movies with folks that I want to hang out with, and I want to have fucking fun. And so Robert Rodriguez, now in his older age, he's now in his 50s. He's a bit older than me. And he went on Joe Rogan and he started to talk about and reflect upon that original book, because he's had so many years since then. And he talks about how he's adjusted his mindset and how he gets through what's going on right now. And it's fucking inspiring. And I don't normally advertise for a show like a larger show like Joe Rogan's show, but you should go check it out. Just do a search. Robert Rodriguez, Joe Rogan podcast. I think you can find it on YouTube. By the way, while you're on YouTube looking up that show, go check out In Love with the Process on YouTube and subscribe to us. Check out my fucking cool visualizers, and I'm putting up older episodes, classic episodes with really cool stuff to watch while you're listening to my shows. I put up the Joe Carnahan classic episode, and it's been crushing. It's been doing very well. So if you guys haven't checked that out, while you're on YouTube looking for that Robert Rodriguez clip, just go to In Love with the Process. You could also put my name in there. If you write Pecci In Love with the Process, for sure you'll find it. And then subscribe. And then we will be dropping up episodes. We have the Carnahan episode up there. I have the episode where we break down Steven Spielberg's shots, talk about his visual language and how much that's influenced me. That's also an episode that's up there. So it's a great place to go and learn and laugh and get lost. And you'll find some pretty cool hidden extras in my video feed up there. You know what I mean? So go check all that stuff out. But yeah, I listened to the interview with Rodriguez, and man, he said something that was really great. He said something that it's, if you're focused, when you're making your movie, you can get hyper-focused on that one movie that you're making, right? So that becomes the most important thing. That becomes the lucky coin, the thing that's going to change the game for you. But you have no fucking control over what it is that you make is received. You just don't. You could try to plan for it. You might find gold. You might think you have gold. But you just have no idea what the current climate is, how the audiences are feeling. And, you may have made one of the best things that you've ever made, but people hate it. People don't like it. It doesn't get put out. You walk in with a script, and that studio is actually looking for something stupid, not your really good thing. And then boom, you know what I mean? And so there's all this rejection that comes with it. And he has really good advice, and he says, focus on the body of work, not on the individual project. And he brings up a great story, and I'll paraphrase this, but like I said, go listen to the full interview. But he brings up a great story about a movie that he made years ago, which was called 4 Rooms. And he was invited into this film. It was not a compilation, but what do you call it when there's like a bunch of short films all put together in one film? It'll come to me. But it was him, it was Quentin Tarantino, and 2 other directors. And the whole premise of the film, if you guys haven't seen it, it's really great, is that it takes place in one hotel with a bellhop. And that is the through line through all the pieces. But the bellhop has to deal with different stories in each one of the rooms that he's tending that night. I think it's Tim Roth. Tim Roth plays the lead. Fantastic. And Rodriguez's short that's in there has Antonio Banderas and these 2 wonderful kids that are in it. And if you watch the film, you sort of see the origins years and years prior to it actually being done. You see the origins of Spy Kids, which is interesting when you watch it. Anyway, Rodriguez says that he had met Tarantino through the festival circuits, and they really got along, and he knew that that guy was headed somewhere, right? Because he was running in the festival circuits with El Mariachi the same time that Tarantino was running around with Reservoir Dogs, right? So they became buddies, and Tarantino was like, hey, you want to do one of the rooms? And so Rodriguez was like, I just said yes. I followed my gut and went, yep, let's do it. Boom. And started to shoot it. He's like, if I had done a little bit of research, and if I had looked into it, I would have realized that anthology films, that's what they're called, anthology film, that anthology films were not successful. Like generally audiences had trouble sort of finding their route with anthology films, like trying to figure out what story to follow, and really didn't have enough time to get attached to characters. And so he's like, if I had thought about it too much, and I had thought about my career too much, I wouldn't have done the movie. Now, he made it, and the movie wasn't successful theatrically. But he said, what I ended up happening was I found the roots for Spy Kids. I ended up like finding the connection that I needed to do From Dusk Till Dawn. I ended up finding the connection I needed to do something else. So as he talks through it, doing that one project led to all these really great successes. And so he's like, look, man, if you're trying to cross a river, you might stumble on a few rocks initially. I'm paraphrasing that. He does a really good job describing it on the interview. But you're still trying to make your way across the river. You know what I mean? So keep pushing. And you never know what each one of these little projects will do for you. And that's nice. It kind of takes the stress off, right? At the end of the day, what matters is that you just make shit. You just make shit, and you put it out there, and people get excited. And you just make shit. You put it out there, and people get excited. I'm very grateful for him sharing what he shared on that show. It was just this shot in the ass that I needed. The other thing that I thought was really great, and this is relevant with everything that's going on, because he talks about life, right? And he's a freelancer. He's like the ultimate freelancer. He has his own studio now. He works out of Austin, Texas. He works off the grid. He has like big celebrities coming to him to do stuff. I mean, he's off the grid, which is really cool, and still making money. Like, he recently just did some kids movie for Netflix, which is like one of the most downloaded movies on Netflix. So he's still in and connected, but he's not Hollywood, which I like, actually. He was talking about life, and he was saying that what he ended up doing was changing the way he thinks about the good times and the bad times, because we talk about that on our show all the time, the highs and the lows, riding the wave. Sometimes it's really great, sometimes it's really down, and it's just the game, ups and downs and ups and downs. And you go from like an extreme high and you plummet into an extreme depression, and that's kind of what happens. And that's always been my warning to those that try to get into this business. But I thought that he did a better job describing it. He said, what I try to teach my kids and what I try to teach people that I talk to about this business is that whenever anything's shitty, whenever anything's down, that's called baseline. That's your baseline. So instead of saying like, this is a real shitty time, I'm down, this is like, I'm depressed, I'm at the bottom, he goes, no, this is baseline. This is life. Life brings all sorts of weird shit at you, right? You end up going over your handlebars and fucking shattering your shoulder. That's baseline. He goes, so if you think about it that way, you're not down, you're just fighting through life, right? You're just tackling one thing at a time, taking the steps. Like I've been doing with my shoulder. I'll catch you up with that in a sec. Just taking the steps to get through it. But when you have good things happen, let's say that you make a film, or let's say that you get tickets to a sold out show, or you go see a concert, then that's above baseline. So you're starting to get higher than baseline, and that's a reason to start celebrating. You should celebrate the stuff that's above baseline, because those moments come and go. I thought that was a really nice way of looking at it. I thought it was a healthier way of looking at it than how I looked at it prior to that. And what's funny about it, it was like such a great conversation. And then all of my filmmaker friends, I had watched it in its entirety the other night. It was late. I think I wrapped it up at like, I don't know, 1 a.m. or something like that. I was up late watching it, which I couldn't get to sleep because I was excited after watching it. And then all my friends were texting me at that same time at night. And they were just like, my buddy Esham Nelms, he was just like, dude, have you seen the new interview? He's like, I'm at baseline. I was like, me too, man. I'm at baseline, So it was pretty cool. It was pretty cool. If you guys haven't checked it out, check it out right now. You can hear the little rats. I don't know if you can hear the squeaking behind us. Someone's wrestling someone back there. Shoulder update. Things are going good, man. My mobility at this point, if I had to judge by how high I could put my arm up, I'd say I'm at least at 55%, right? So which is nice. I've been doing my basic exercises. I've been using my arm. I'm able to cook. My microphone keeps falling. Pardon me. I'm able to cook and lift weight with it, which is awesome. My days pretty much consist of waking up in the morning a little stiff, but my arm feeling good. And then by the time I get to the end of the day, it's kind of sore and kind of a bitch because I've been doing too much. But pressing forward, tomorrow I go see the doc again, get another X-ray. There you go, dude. And check it out, see what's happening. And then I start physical therapy next week. Which I know is going to be a painful game, but pain in a good way. Pain with gains, right? Isn't that what weightlifters say or used to say? So yeah, I'm pumped about it. I'm excited about it. I'm trying to get it back in full fucking shape. I am traveling, get to go home and see the family in June. So that's a month and change away from now. So I want myself back in shape by then. I don't expect to be 100 by then, but I expect to be a lot more limber than I am now. So I'm strapping in. And, like I said, you're at baseline. So you're dealing with this stuff one step at a time. And I'm making my way through. I'm kind of pumped about it. Let's see, what else has been going on? We had an epic week for Gina. She got home from London, went on a crazy journey in London, and then came back just in time for her birthday, conveniently. And we did a birthday adventure for over a week. So we did all sorts of really fun stuff. Went to a bunch of new restaurants, some restaurants that I didn't know about here in Los Angeles. If you live out here in LA, you may already know about this, but if you check out the Infatuation LA website, so Infatuation's pretty fucking great. It's a great place where they've organized, and they're not sponsoring the show. They should, though. But it's a great place where they've organized like all the places that you can go on, like the type of cuisine you want to eat, the night of the week it is, is it a date night? Like what's the night? And they give you really great suggestions. And it's a cool jumping off point if you're trying to like set up a week of partying or do a party for somebody's birthday, or like all that kind of stuff. So I found like a bunch of really cool bars and restaurants that I didn't know about. So we tried out some of that. And then in my hunt, because I wanted to do a cool adventure, like a cool food adventure. And in my hunt, I fell down this rabbit hole and I got lost in private clubs, like supper clubs. Have you guys heard about this stuff? I know they have them in New York. I know that they have them out here in Los Angeles. I'm not sure if they have them in some of the smaller cities, but they're fascinating. A lot of them started in COVID. So during the COVID time when like restaurants weren't open and chefs were desperately trying to make a little bit extra cash, they would do these supper clubs where they were invite only. You'd try to find a way to get invited to it and you'd end up at like the chef's house, right? And they'd cook you a meal, oftentimes like a prefix meal, multi-course meal. And you get to be there, right? And it was all custom made, really fun stuff based upon like what sort of food was in season, that whole deal. Sounds fucking rad, does it not? So I did some digging and I found a few in town that I was interested in. And I ended up picking this one, the Rosalynn Supper Club. And I picked it because it seemed to be a bit more nerdy and a bit more down and dirty about what they were doing. And I booked it for me and Gina. Not cheap necessarily, not cheap, but you could still drop this kind of money in like especially out here in LA, in like a big prefixed meal at a restaurant. But this was a more interesting experience. And I didn't tell Gina. I was like, hey, we're going out, I'm taking you out on a date. It's going to be great. She was excited. She got dressed up and we're taking a lift and we're driving in the lift to get to the spot. And on the way out, it occurred to me, I'm like, what is she thinking, right? Because in her head, she could be thinking, we're going to go out to a restaurant, or maybe she's like, Mike's going to, he's got like some sort of surprise party for me. Maybe a bunch of my friends are going to jump out and say surprise for the birthday thing. And so I was like, I should probably set her up a little bit. So that way, when we walk into a stranger's house, she's not sort of spun, And so we're getting close to the place, and I said to her, like, hey, man, I just want to let you know that tonight's going to be really cool, but just be prepared that I have no fucking idea what it's going to do. I have no idea where it's going to go. I have no idea what we're in for. And she's like, huh? She's like, what do you mean? Don't ruin the surprise, but what do you mean? I said, just be cool, and it's going to be cool. It's like a one of a kind thing, but just be cool, And so we get there, the guy drops us off and he drops us off in this alley, It was down near Chinatown, down near the Arts District area. Drops us off in this alley and Gina's like looking around. She's like, what are we doing? And I'm looking for the address. And it's behind like these condo units. And you have to walk through this person's backyard and literally up into their slider into their house. You know what I mean? And so we're standing there and she's like, we're going into this person's house? What are we doing? And at that point, I realized, I'm like, I gotta tell you, because she's gonna walk in and a bunch of strangers are gonna look at her and she's not gonna know what the fuck's happening. I said, look, I booked us a private dinner and a supper club dinner. And she was like, okay, this sounds cool. And then we walked in and she still had that experience, because we walk into this person's condo unit and it's pretty interesting. It's like your standard, high price little condo unit, but he sort of converted what would normally be the living room kitchen area into like this chef's kitchen, with like the chef's stove and like all like pots and pans and shit everywhere. Almost looked like this mad scientist garage, for food. And all that's there. And there's this table that's set up for, I think it was like 12 people or something. There's a table that's set up. And you just come in and it's a bunch of strangers. And you walk in, we were the first ones there. And I'm like, hey. And they're all like, hey, very welcoming. Hey, welcome to the thing. They had given me instructions ahead of time, like bring some wine if you want to have wine paired with the food. And I come in and I give them the wine and they prep the wine and they go, just hang out, which was cool. We got to meet the chefs. They're all hard at work in this kitchen. And they had a woman there that was doing cocktails. So we had some great cocktails. Got really lit on cocktails. And we hung out. And it was cool. Like the other guests came in. It was this weird mix of people that I would never sat down and had a meal with, with the current people that I have in my group. People coming from different like social status, different backgrounds, different family backgrounds, different like ethnic backgrounds. Really cool mix of folks, all there because they love food, all there because they want like a food experience. And so we all had that in common. So conversations start and people start to share things, and I start to share the wine that I bring. It was rad. It was really fucking rad. And then they started to serve us the meal, and it was delicious. It was delicious. It was the kind of meal that it felt familiar. It was like a mix of it was like an Asian Italian cuisine. So it was this really interesting mix of the two of them. The guy that ran the supper club used to work in tech, and he decided that he wanted to be a chef. And then he went and got trained by a bunch of different chefs all over the world. His story was everywhere. He talked about it. So we got to have all sorts of really great stuff. What did we have? We had saltwater sea bass, which was really good. It's almost like it's the same look and texture as salmon, but just softer. It was really tasty. And then he had that breaded in this really special recipe. It was like a Japanese breading recipe that he did, which was cool. And then what else do we have? We had scallops, which were delicious, on top of like a gnocchi, which was really nice, like a potato gnocchi. And then we had a duck taco, which was tasty. Then we had it was almost like a ceviche. It was like a tuna ceviche that they did that was delicious. And then we had this epic, heavily marbled steak that was out of this world. It was a fantastic meal. We had so much fun. So much fun. So if you do the research and you're looking for something interesting and you've got a little bit of extra money to spend, and you want to take your significant other on a date, or if you want to go, because there were some people that went that were just there as solo, just single folks that were there that loved the food, and you want to go have like a communal people experience, try a supper club, because it takes you out of your comfort zone. And then you get to have stuff that these guys would normally want to put on a menu, but quite often than not, don't fit into what the general public wants on a menu all the time, like fucking buffalo wings and cheeseburgers, you know what I mean? So like you get to go there and have the stuff that they're excited about, cooking and testing. And you get to have really cool conversations with strangers. It was a lot of fucking fun. Gina had a blast with me, and I came out being a champ, doing a really cool booking for her birthday. And it was cool. Highly suggest it. Highly suggest it. Look them up, supper clubs. See what you can find. And if you find something cool in New York or Los Angeles, write to me and tell me, because I'm curious. And if you're someone, because I know there's a lot of chefs that listen to the show, a lot of people that cook listen to the show. If you guys are doing anything like that, or write to me on Instagram and let me know. Because I would quite obviously love to be a part of any of it. I love that stuff. I'm kind of inspired. I might actually do my own little supper club on my own. Because you guys know how much I like to cook. So maybe I will. We'll see. I'll put that on my list of everything else that I'm doing. So let's see. What else did I want to talk to you guys about? Look at my list. Let's take a hot second, right? And let's talk about, I haven't seen it yet. But a lot of folks have, and it's kind of the darling of Hollywood right now. It's kind of the movie that is injecting hope into cinema for us filmmakers. And maybe this means that we get a little bit of control back. Sinners. Have you guys seen Sinners? Ryan Coogler's recent film. Ryan Coogler, infamously known as the guy that basically brought back the Rocky series with Creed. And then everybody loves him because of Black Panther, the Wakanda movies, which everybody loves. He started with Fruitville Station, which was a great movie. And Sinners just came out. And I don't want to spoil anything for folks. I haven't seen it yet, but it is a wild adventure from what I've heard. And people love it or they don't. But the movie is crushing, dude. It is an original idea, an original concept, and it has just been selling out. I haven't been having so much trouble getting tickets out here in Los Angeles. It has just been selling out week after week. On fucking Tuesday nights, sold out. It's crazy. It's crazy. And it's kind of breaking the system, right? Because Hollywood continuously says IP is king. No one gives a fuck about original content, and especially a movie like this, right? Because it doesn't check off any of the boxes. All the lead actors are black folks, right? Hollywood for quite some time was like, black people can't sell fucking movies, right? That was a big thing. Black Panther broke that, and he did that, you know? And then it's like a Western. It's a period piece, right? It feels like a Western, and it's like, what the fuck is this, right? It breaks all the rules, and it has just been crushing, and it is getting critical acclaim, and everybody's jumping on board this thing. Like, it's the talk of the town right now. So if you haven't seen it yet, the big thing is that they shot it in different formats. It's in IMAX. It's in like 2 different versions of an IMAX format. It's a lot of fun. There's only specific theaters that are playing it that way. So if you have an IMAX theater near you, definitely go see Sinners there, because that'll be the only time you get to see it that way. And I'm trying to get tickets. I'm definitely trying to get tickets. So yeah, man, big shout out, Ryan Coogler on the show. We had his buddy, his best friend on Right Place, Right Time. So you guys haven't heard that episode, go check that out. Maybe at some point we'll get Ryan on our show. But yeah, the guy is fucking crushing it right now, which is really great. I heard a rumor that, I haven't listened to the episode yet, but I heard that he was on Mark Maron's show, and he was talking about how when he went into doing Creed, he was like fucking $200,000 in debt. So the guy didn't have any money. So normal story. So good success story for this guy. Great stuff. All right, what are we at for time here? 40-something minutes. We're doing okay. We'll give you a few more. Give you a few more minutes. Let's see what else is going on. For Gina's birthday, we went and did that. We went, last night we were downtown Los Angeles, which is like a zombie ghost town for most of it. But what I love about downtown LA is that there are still like these really cool underground basement bars that are really fun down there. It hasn't been gentrified. So we ended up going down there to get some fresh rolls. It was me, Gina, and Tran. We went down there to get some fresh rolls. And then Gina was like, what else do you guys want to do? And Monday and Tuesday nights are pretty rugged out here in Los Angeles because all the cool places, for some reason, stay closed until Wednesday. I don't get it. So like all the really fun restaurants don't open up until Wednesday. And so most of the stuff was closed. And so we ended up, doing the whole internet search thing. Like, where do we go? And everybody sits on their phone and it takes forever. And I'm like, let's just walk. And we walked through and we found these like really cool dive bars and underground bars. And we just walked in and we found this really awesome piano bar venue. I forget the name of it. We just walked down there and it had all these old weathered leather couches, this really cool old piano bar vibe and aesthetic. Fucking cool spot. So if you're in Los Angeles and you're not a wuss about being downtown, if you're down there with a couple friends, and you feel safe, then walk around, walk in and out of places. There are like, busted signs and like flickering lights, and then you go down a flight of stairs into like this dark, cavernous back hallway, and you're like, is this even the venue? Like, where am I going? You walk around a corner and you find like these cool little bars. Fucking cool, man. Really cool. So it was a fun night. We did that, and then we also threw a party. Gina gets the big week, We threw a big party, a house party here at the house, and she invited a lot of her friends, a lot of coworkers. We had at least 30 people, This fucking microphone. I gotta fix this, guys. As I'm talking to you, my microphone is just sinking in front of me. With all the advancements with AI tech, right? All this really cool stuff. They got robots that are gonna take over everybody's jobs and shit. You can't make a fucking mic stand that doesn't stop fucking sinking. Stop. And this is the top of the line mic stand. Anyway, relax, Mike. Breathe. Baseline. Crazy, man. But we had a house party, invited a bunch of folks over, cleaned up the place. It's been a while since we've done one. We used to do these all the time back in Boston. And Gina's request was like, she's got a fiance that can cook her anything. I can do anything for her. We can go as fancy as you want. And she's like, I want pizza rolls. I want pizza rolls, chicken nuggets, chicken tenders, and some tater tots. That's our catering. So your boy was running the oven for at least a good hour and a half because you have to time it all. Not enough room in the oven to run that shit. And made, pounds and pounds of tater tots and pounds of fucking pizza rolls. And then had all the trays set up for her. And then everybody came in and had a fucking blast, dude. We had our own little karaoke machine set up. And it's funny how excited people get to sing karaoke, to sing it. And they're just like, I was thinking all day about what songs I'm going to do, and then you have a lot of plants, right? You have a lot of people that are really good singers that just sort of like, yeah, I'll take the mic, and the next thing you know, it's fucking Celine Dion belting out in your living room. And you're like, what is this? We had some fun folks show up. We had some celebs show up. Some people that we work with. It was a great night. It was a lot of fun. It was a fun LA hangout with really genuine people. And we had a great fucking time. So I think Gina had a pretty good birthday. She's got her headphones on now. So she's got her noise canceling headphones on so she can't hear me. She hates listening to me do podcasts. She does. Because we're both in the same space, She hates it. She's like, I listen to you on that microphone. Sometimes you make me cringe. Right now, she's going through and selecting her shots. She just shot in London. Did a photo shoot for Cabaret in London. So she's going through and doing her selects right now. Getting all that in line. Pretty cool. Pretty cool, man. Oh, fuck yes. I'm just checking on my guest. Oh, I want to tell you guys who my big guest is. Got a big guest coming to the house this week. Not tomorrow, actually. Big guest. A big movie star that you guys know. Yes, it's coming. Let's say that this guy has worn a skull on his chest. He will be here at the house. Very excited. He just confirmed. So we're on. All right. Well, that is it. The podcast in the can. Thank you for listening. Thank you for subscribing to the show. Tell your friends about In Love with the Process. Anybody that is a film fan, don't forget to write to me if you want to see 12KM and follow us, subscribe to us on YouTube. And if this is your first podcast, definitely subscribe if you want to see who our special guest is. All right. See you guys.